Well, what a glorious day. What an absolutely glorious day to be here at Miracle Place, Pasco. You are all so incredibly welcome. My name is Leona Wells. I serve as the Managing Director of Pasco Development and Services. And thank you. And I'm amongst friends who whoop for me. I love that. I love that. I serve alongside an incredible Pasco-based team, but also an incredible metro team across 3 counties. In downtown Tampa. The Community United Methodist Church.
Saludos amigos de tampahoy.com, mi nombre es José Ángel Acevedo y estoy aquí conectándome con ustedes hoy miércoles 22 de octubre para darles información sobre nuevas ayudas que van a llegar a las familias del Condado Pasco gracias a esta fundación, a esta organización de Metropolitan Ministries que está abriendo e inaugurando una nueva ubicación justamente en el Condado Pasco y ahora mismo acaba de comenzar esta conferencia de prensa en la que van a dar todos los detalles de este nuevo centro que le brinda ayudas a miles de personas, a miles de familias aquí en nuestra bahía de Tampa. Así que vamos a escuchar un poquito sobre lo que dice el equipo y las personas de Metropolitan Ministries mientras vemos cuáles son esos detalles que van a brindarle ayuda a toda la comunidad de Pinellas. Mi nombre es José Ángel Acevedo y voy a estar con ustedes durante todo el día de hoy aquí en tampahoy.com. Además, no olvides que hoy es Vigilando los Trópicos a las 2:30 de la tarde. Así que escuchemos la conferencia de prensa de Metropolitan Ministries.
Commissioner Starkey, Commissioner Yeager, and on behalf of Commissioner Mariano, Sonia Walling, also our County Administrator, Mark Carbala, Sheriff Chris Naku, who will not sit down, but we thank you, sir. And on behalf of Commissioner Wilton Simpson, Edward Blommel, and representatives from the Florida Department of Children and Families, Jonathan Stevens and Chris Clayton. Additionally, our very special thanks to all our attending board members, the leadership, Pasco Leadership Council, and our Pasco ambassadors. Please, if you are here, if you would stand so that we can recognize your leadership, our ambassadors, our board members, and our leadership council. Every night, 48 families are safe and loved in our residential program, in our Joining Hands Hall. This is where we sit. And more than 8,000 community families in need come through our Dade City location and the Derek J. Mitchell Family Support Center. And they were lifted up by a myriad of prevention services, but more importantly, compassion and care.
Como les estaba mencionando, más de 48 familias en la Bahía de Tampa, justamente en el Condado Pasco, están recibiendo ayuda por parte de Metropolitan Ministries. Y más de 8,000 familias reciben ayudas en el centro que brinda distintos servicios.
Many of you have had a front row seat to this journey of hope. And to share more about this journey, please welcome Rob Lamke, Vice President, Facilities and Operations.
Ahora va a hablar el vicepresidente de la organización.
Wow, what a day, right? Just thank you for everybody being here, and a special thanks to Leona and our events team at Metropolitan Ministries for putting together such an incredible event, months of planning and incredible execution. So Leona and the events team, they all deserve a round of applause for making this happen today. So I want to get going as quickly as possible because Leona did explain to me that I only had 30 minutes on the microphone. So I wanted to get into it as quickly as I could. Miracle Place Pasco. What an appropriate name. The Bible says that creation is a foundational and a stupendous miracle. And it truly holds that meaning as the first word in the title of this campus, Miracle Place Pasco. And miracle means much more than that, than just the title of our campus. It's also foundationally representative of the incredible work that goes on here on this campus. In many cases, it is a true miracle that we perform here, that the staff performs here. And today we've got so many people to thank. And some of the people are going to come up here and they're going to speak to you about their support and their role. We're going to learn about others who weren't able to be here today about their support and their role. But I want to be very intentional. And I wanted to take a moment and also thank, there were many at the state level who advocated for this project for us in funding, many. And I want to be very intentional in making sure that we thank Governor Ron DeSantis, because there were two opportunities for Governor DeSantis to approve funding for this project. And in both instances, he approved the funding, and we are going to be forever grateful for that. That is just a huge lift for this campus and a huge lift for our organization, and we're incredibly grateful.
Por el apoyo que ha ofrecido a la organización durante esta expansión.
I have the honor of bringing up some of our partners that help us bring this vision to what you see today. I don't write many speeches, so as I was sitting and trying to think about what are the words that are going to best describe these partners, and I've been on a faith journey of my own, and I came across Corinthians 13, and if you know Corinthians 13, it basically talks about the supremacy of love, and not only the supremacy of love, but that without it, even the most impressive gifts and the grand acts, they're meaningless without love. And I mean, if we can look around, I mean, I think we've got some incredible grand acts and grand gifts around us, not only in buildings, but in the people who work here. The chapter goes on to famously define that love is patient, it's kind, it possesses virtues like selflessness, truthfulness, and endurance. And I literally could not think of better words to describe the partners that I'm going to bring up on stage to honor than what those last words were: selflessness, truthfulness, and endurance. They are the team that made this project come from a vision to the tangible thing that we see today. So the first partner that I want to bring up is Real Building Consultants, and Taylor Ralph and Sarah Carney. If they could come up here and join me.
Ahora acabo de invitar a dos personas al estrado para platicar sobre
Real Building
ellos.
Consultants was our partner on our LEAD initiative. And for those that LEAD is about an efficiency and operating efficiency. It's about environmental stewardship and sustainability for your buildings. They were not only incredible in guiding us through this, but found all sorts of different ways that we could claim points. It's all based on a point system in regards to, you know, what you're doing in regards to efficiencies and environmental stewardship of the mechanisms in your building. And I not only want to thank you for that and the certifications that we got, but it's not only a sustainable effort for our campus, it also makes the working environment that we have much more healthier for the staff that we have, which means we can perform this work for a much longer time. For just a reference, our Derek J. Mitchell building is a silver LEED status, which is absolutely
del trabajo de estas dos personas en Metropolitan Ministries en Pasco y cómo su trabajo ha ayudado a que todo se esté realizando como debe ir.
The most remarkable part is our Create Child Care Learning Center is gold. Yeah, that's the big
ellos
one.
ayudaron a crear el lugar de aprendizaje
And
para los
talking with
niños,
Sarah
algo
before,
que es oro
I was trying to figure out,
para
like,
la
I said, that can't be
organización.
very common. And she, of course, in true role that they've played throughout this entire project, she researched it and said, so actually, as far as I can find, there might be 5 in the state of Florida that are gold certified. But with those 5, you all are the most recent. So I applaud you. I thank you on our gold and our silver status. And we've got an award for you.
Ahora les
Sarah.
están
Oh, she's way back
ofreciendo
there.
un premio
Awesome.
eh,
Thank you very much.
para
Appreciate
honrar
it.
su trabajo y darle las gracias por
The-
todo su
The
labor
next contractor,
durante el
and I don't
proceso
believe that
de,
he's
de
here, but
ampliación.
not being here, he deserves all the recognition and name mentioning in the world, and that is John Simon. Haven't seen it. John Simon's not here today, is he? Okay. Well, John Simon, many of us know him in the construction industry or in the site work industry, is JVS Contracting. And he does a lot of work in the city of Tampa, a lot of site work, and he does a lot of what he would entitle demolition work. So here on this campus, John and his company, they helped us in the removal of the sanctuary or the church that was here. And I say removal because while the physical shell isn't here, doesn't mean it was demolished. The shell isn't here, but the removal of the building has left the spirit here that we all feel every day, especially in our courtyard. So I just wanted to recognize that while he's not here, John Simon and JVS Contracting was an incredible partner of ours. Here comes the emotional. Evolution Contracting. So Tom, who is the owner, CEO of Evolution Contracting, was actually part of the team that built that building when we were first starting to expand and first starting to serve families here on this campus. What's incredible about that is it's so appropriate because not only did Tom and Courtney and Max, who are here representing the Evolution team, their partnership throughout this project is in line with the name of this building now, which is Joining Hands All. They went with us on this project hand in hand the entire way. And when I say hand in hand is something that is usually reserved for close partnerships or passion or those people that you trust and you rely on. And there's nothing more appropriate than them being a part of that and a part of the original building that served our families. The organization itself is dynamic, and this project would not have happened without them. And I can tell you that during this process, they became incredible friends and supporters of Metropolitan Ministries as an organization. And I think more importantly, they became real friends of mine. And I personally can't thank them enough for what they did from the building, from the accounting, from the record keeping, from everything else that went along with this project. And so Tom, Courtney, Max, if you can make it up, please come on up. Max and I each have a bad knee in common. That's why I asked if he couldn't make it up. The steps over here if you want to. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys want to come right over here.
Ahora el presidente de la organización está invitando a otros miembros para brindarles
All right, there you go.
reconocimientos frente a todos los invitados que se han dado cita en esta inauguración de un nuevo centro que va a estar brindando apoyo a familias de
So
la
again,
Bahía de
wanna thank
Tampa,
those three
justamente en el Condado Pasco. Esto es muy importante para nuestra comunidad porque en estos tiempos que hay mucha necesidad en las comunidades, en las que muchas de las familias necesitan hogares para ellos poder hacer a su familia exitosa. Muchas de las familias que llegan aquí a los hogares de Metropolitan Ministries son familias necesitadas que de alguna manera han sido también mujeres víctimas de violencia doméstica, también familias que han llegado a nuestra zona y lo han perdido todo. También hay familias inmigrantes, personas que están recibiendo el apoyo de parte de Metropolitan Ministries. Y en este caso, más de 8,000 familias reciben ayuda en los centros que ellos tienen abiertos alrededor de toda la bahía de Tampa. Sin embargo, al principio de la conferencia de prensa, ellos mencionaron que esta ubicación en el Condado Pasco podría brindar más ayudas a más de 8,000 personas, 8,000 personas en nuestra zona. Ahí podemos ver que están ofreciendo más reconocimientos a personas importantes en la organización que han ayudado con este crecimiento. Vamos a escuchar qué habla esta persona que
Well,
supongo que es
I
uno
wish
de
I
los
had some
líderes
prepared remarks
importantes
now.
de la organización.
As most of you know who've seen me speak before, I don't usually stand behind a podium. So they've done that today to kind of encapsulate me. Normally I walk around the crowd, but Leona said I had a time limit, so I'm going to honor that time limit today. But thank you, Rob, for all you've done and keeping us shepherded along the way. You've done an incredible job. And Leona, thank you for all that you've done. And this is a special day for Pasco County, right, Catherine? This is the day that we've all been thinking about for a long time. And this is a special day for Metropolitan Ministries. It's the dedication day. It's reaching this milestone that is so important. And it's extra special for me because I think in my career, this is the longest project I've ever worked on. We started 13 and a half years ago. And we actually started on that project there. And Catherine will remember the kitchen that we originally did. And Dan Campbell will remember those days. Christmas of 2012 when we broke ground on that. So, but it's even more special for me. I've had an association with this property for over 50 years. I did my scouts here when it was a church, Dewey, years and years ago. So I have a close bond. It's been a full circle moment.
Él está mencionando sobre
And when
los
we set
estudios
out
y
to design this,
las
as Rob
realizaciones
said,
que
we set out
llevaron
to create something
durante los
special,
pasados
something
50 años para
motivational,
realizar
something that was inspirational, something that you will see as you walk
esta nueva
through
ampliación
with the
del
incorporation of
Metropolitan
natural
Ministries
daylighting,
en el Condado
with
Pasco.
specific materials that
Ellos
we
removieron
chose,
una iglesia que
with
se
the
encontraba
patterns that you
en el
see
lugar
and the colors that you see. All
donde
that was
están
intended
brindándole
to
ahora
hopefully make it a
espacio
better place,
a
to
más de
hopefully have an
48
impact
familias
on
y más de
people's lives,
8,000
Gus.
personas
That
que
was the important thing,
reciben
because
apoyo por parte de
oftentimes people
Metropolitan
think of
Ministries. Y esta
architecture
vez, con esta
as just
nueva
simply
expansión
plans and
en Pasco,
specifications.
muchas de estas
But it's more
familias
than that,
se van a
right? It's
poder
where
ver
people live their
beneficiadas
lives.
como
And
parte
so it's
de
so
este
important that these
proyecto
buildings have a
que ha
positive
sido de
impact
5
on
décadas
people's
en la
lives each and
carrera
every day.
de
And I
este
hope that
servidor.
that happens. And I hope that you see that, Rob and Leona, over time. Because the true legacy of this building and this campus will be the lives that are inspired, the people's suffering that has been alleviated, and the hope that has been given to them through
Menciona
their
que el
interaction with this
área
building.
inspira
And so hopefully with that, this
básicamente
building and this
a esas
campus will do
familias
that
a
for
crecer.
years and years to come.
Eh,
So as you know, and as you've heard, and as Rob attested to, there's been a lot of people involved with this. I want to recognize a few who made this a reality. First of all, Commissioner Starkey, you know, you go way back to the very beginning with me when we got the donation for all the kitchen equipment. And so you stood by this project from day one, and I thank you for that. Please give her a round of applause.
Bueno, y de esa manera también este líder de Metropolitan Ministries también le está dando las gracias y reconocimientos a las personas que se encuentran entre los invitados de este evento de inauguración en el Condado Pasco, donde, como ya mencioné anteriormente, más de 48 familias se están viendo beneficiadas. También más de 8,000 personas reciben ayuda en estos centros de ayuda en la bahía de Tampa. Vamos a
And
escuchar un poquito
Courtney,
más sobre la
Max,
conferencia de
Tom,
prensa y
we've
nos
had
quedamos
4
aquí en tampahoy.com.
contractors over this 13-year period. And by far, you guys have hit it out of the park. This is the absolute best. Wouldn't want to work with anyone else on this project. Thank you all. You have done a phenomenal job. And to my good friend Tim, they say any great project is 1,000 steps. I think you would argue this was 100,000 steps, right? We faced a lot of obstacles. We had a lot of calls. There was a lot of disappointment, but ultimately you never took your eye off the ball and you made this happen. So thank you. And then finally, Scott and Kathy, you were the spark that started this. You were the motivation, you had the empathy, and without you guys, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Rich, thank you so much for your leadership and your care and your dedication to this project. So in the past fiscal year, Metropolitan Ministries provided more than 47,000 emergency self-shelter nights to families, seniors, and children in Pasco County. And many of those were right here in Joining Hands Hall. But each of those 47,000 nights is a person. It's an 8-year-old, a teenager, a grandparent, a mom, and a dad, safe and cared for because of this miracle place. Each story of adversity is different. Each triumph over difficulty is inspiring. And to share one of those stories, please welcome Ishmael Diaz.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just bear with me. 2 years ago, my life looked very different. I was struggling to keep my family afloat, living with uncertainty, and trying to figure out what the future would bring. Back then, I felt overwhelmed, unsure, trapped in a cycle of survival, thinking the next couple of years would simply be about getting by and hoping for a break. I had no idea that life was preparing me for lessons and resilience, resourcefulness, and the power of support. Lessons that would transform not just for my circumstances, but for the way I saw myself and my family. The first year was marked by both struggle and small victories. My family and I were navigating financial uncertainty, and some days it felt impossible to make progress. I often worried about providing for my wife and children and spent nights thinking about how to keep us stable. It was during this time that we connected with Metropolitan Ministries. Their programs offered more than just a place to stay. They offered guidance, structure, and real opportunities to rebuild our lives. They helped us manage our finances, access resources for stability, and plan for the future. For the first time in months, I felt a spark of hope, knowing that we weren't alone in this journey. That year taught me that resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about asking for help. Using the support available and taking proactive steps towards change. Even in the toughest moments, small victories reminded me that we could create a better life. The second year brought growth, breakthroughs, and new challenges. With the tools and support we had gained, progress became possible. One of the biggest breakthroughs was a career pivot. I moved into plumbing, a field I hadn't considered before. While my wife explored new opportunities for growth as well, the days were long, the learning curve steep, and the pressure real, but step by step, progress became visible. I remember the pride of landing my first job in the new field, knowing it would provide stability for my family. My wife's determination, along mine, made all the difference. Together, we navigated this path, and every small victory strengthened our resolve. Of course, challenges didn't disappear. There were setback moments of doubt and obstacles that tested our patience and resilience. But we faced them head on, leaned on each other, and used lessons we learned from Metropolitan Ministries to persevere. By the end of the second year, I had discovered more about myself than I ever imagined. I realized that growth often comes from discomfort, and that even the hardest circumstances can lead to new possibilities if you were willing to act and adapt. Looking back, the past 2 years were defined by resilience, adaptability, and the power of support. Through every high and low, the common thread was the determination to create stability for our family, to embrace opportunities for growth, and to never give up. Life taught me that transformation isn't about a single big moment. It's about consistent effort, leaning on others, and believing that progress is possible. My children also have benefited greatly from the career programs and enjoyed the activities available to them. The team program, the games, making bracelets, woodworking, making t-shirts, summer camp, including the field trips to go into Legoland. The kids opened up, came out of their shells, and they just had fun as kids should. Today, I am more confident and grounded and grateful than I could have imagined 2 years ago. All thanks to Metropolitan Ministries. I am not the same person that I was then. I was overwhelmed, uncertain. Now I am empowered and hopeful. I've learned that even the darkest moments, support, determination, and perseverance can turn a struggle into a story of growth. As I look to the future, I carry with me the lessons of resilience, the gratitude for the help we have received, and the belief that even the hardest moments can lead to a brighter, more stable life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ishmael and Stephanie Diaz.
Ahí escuchamos el testimonio, el testimonio de una de las personas beneficiadas en esta organización de Metropolitan Ministries, y él mencionaba en su discurso que durante todos los pasados años su familia estuvo atravesando distintos situaciones, las cuales han podido superar han pasado los años, y bueno, gracias a las personas de Metropolitan Ministries han podido recibir la ayuda necesaria para poder salir adelante aquí en el estado de Florida. Ahora escuchamos a otra de las líderes de Metropolitan Ministries.
I met Tim Marks before this was happening, actually. And remember our U2 concert together years ago? And when they started, and actually my daughter dated briefly the son of the pastor that was here before Reverend Campbell was here. So I go back a little bit in this place. But I remember Tim coming here and saying, hey, we have some ideas. What do you think? And for those of you that have lived in Pasco a long time, you know that this area was absolutely the perfect place for this wonderful organization to come into our community. And my gosh, look what we have here today. I remember Tim saying that he wanted it to be something that our community would be proud of. And I am so proud of this place. And then I think of the people who got involved to help make this a reality. Many of them are sitting over here. And they don't live in this area. They live, in other counties. But I'm thinking of the Finks and Willie and Kurt and the Hulls. They're in the other part of the county, but they don't live in this area. But they have come and given their time and their talent and their money to build this fabulous place to help our community get better, get healthier, and get back on their feet. And I can't tell you how grateful I am and how grateful our community is. And our elected officials, Senator Hooper, Wilton Simpson, and the others, Chris Sprouse, when he was in office, they all came together to help us. We had one little hiccup one year. Something happened in Tallahassee like it does, and the governor and someone had a little spat, and all our appropriations got taken away, if you remember. But you know what? The community came together and we covered that deficiency that year, and we just kept on rocking and rolling, and the legislature just picked right up and carried us through to the finish line. So it's been an interesting ride. The Mitchell family, I want to make sure that you know that Becky Mitchell has been volunteering here for, I don't know, since the beginning. So, man, the stories that could be told from here. I'll tell you one story about a woman named Nikki and her family that started out at the Metropolitan Ministries in Hillsborough County. And she was a victim of domestic violence, and they moved her family here. It was Nikki and her 3 boys. And she, like many of the folks here, needed to find a new career and a job. And they hooked her up with our workforce training program, AmSkills. She went through our program, and within 3 or 4 months, had a job that was paying, once she got hired, $40,000, $50,000 a year. She moved out. Her family moved into an apartment complex over off of Rowan. And a number of years later, her 18-year-old son went through our program, and they're both off on great careers. So one of the things that I love about Metropolitan Ministries, it's not a handout, it is a hand-up. And for many of us, there is a difference. We need to help these folks get on a path to sustainability, and without a great job, they're going to be back in the situation where they were before. So I love that this commercial kitchen is going to be giving training. And I love that this daycare center is also going to be training women and men for jobs in the child care industry. And we have, in the near future, I hope to come back here and tell you that we have more workforce training programs coming to this area. I can't announce it now, but we're in the beginning stages of 2 other large charities that want to come together and bring more workforce training to this area and help our citizens get on a career path to sustainability. So now I'm going to read what my staff wrote. It's probably ChatGPT, which I think has infected my phone. Somehow something's infected my phone. So if it starts calling people randomly, I apologize if someone answers it this morning. But I am honored to stand before you today as a proud supporter of Metropolitan Ministries and its transformative new campus right here in Pasco County. This campus is more than just a building, it's a beacon of hope. It represents a bold step forward in addressing the growing needs of our community. For too long, families in Pasco have faced barriers to accessing critical services, whether it's food, housing, education, or emotional support. With this new campus, help is no longer miles away. It's right here in our backyard. Metropolitan Ministries has always been a lifeline for those in crisis. But this expansion is pivotal because it brings that lifeline closer to home. And it means that a single mother like Nikki, fleeing domestic violence, doesn't have to choose between safety and staying in her community. It means that a child going to bed hungry tonight might wake up tomorrow with a full belly and a brighter future. And it means that dignity, compassion, and opportunity are no longer out of reach for our neighbors in need. I see firsthand how policy and community partnerships must work hand in hand. But what truly moves the needle is when people come together, when we invest in not just in programs, but in people. And that is why I support Metropolitan Ministries, because they don't just provide services, they restore lives. This campus is a promise that Pasco County is not forgotten, that we believe in second chances, and that we are building a community where everyone, regardless of their circumstances, has the opportunity to thrive. So today I invite you to join me, and let's not just celebrate the milestones, let's commit to supporting it, sustaining it, and spreading its impact far and wide. So I know I didn't name all the families, Mitchells, George, and others who have come together, but I just can't tell you that how much Pasco County is so grateful for the love, the kindness, support that you have given to Metropolitan Ministries here. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Starkey, for your leadership, persistence in campaigning and making this vision a true reality. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Sarah Combs, and I am your new president and CEO here at Metropolitan Ministries. And it is my sincere pleasure to be able to join this incredible team, this incredible community. And I look forward to meeting all of you after this amazing, amazing ribbon cutting. So on behalf of Metropolitan Ministries, I want to extend our greatest and deepest gratitude to Commissioner Wilton Simpson and the state of Florida for their extraordinary support. Commissioner Simpson's vision and unwavering belief in our mission have been nothing short of transformational, and it's done so many things for the families that we serve. His leadership and the state's investment were the seeds that brought hope to this community, laying an incredibly strong foundation for Miracle Place Pasco to become a reality. At Metropolitan Ministries, our work centers around the well-being of children and families. We are passionately committed to providing not just food and shelter, but also dignity, compassion, and opportunities for a brighter future. These are the values that Commissioner Wilton Simpson shares deeply. His advocacy and incredible support have really ensured that the most vulnerable, especially our children, are not forgotten, but invested in, and given the resources and hope needed to thrive. Today, as we celebrate this milestone, we honor Commissioner Simpson and the Florida Department of Children and Families for their generous commitment and their support. Their partnership has empowered us to expand our reach, deepen our impact, in ensuring that every child and family that walks through our doors is met with care, respect, and a true chance at a new beginning. So thank you for believing in us and in the power of hope to change lives. Unfortunately, Commissioner Simpson wasn't able to be with us today due to other commitments in Washington. So we honor him today, but on behalf of Commissioner Simpson, we welcome Regional Director, Office of the Commissioner, Edward Blommel, and on behalf of the Florida Department of Children and Families, Jonathan Steffens, Assistant Secretary for Community Services. Please welcome them to the stage.
Thank you so much, Dr. Combs. We're grateful for the opportunity to be here. Secretary Hatch does send her regrets for not being able to make it, but similar to Commissioner Simpson, other obligations, but it's a very easy mission to get behind here, and so very grateful for the opportunity to be here. My name is Jonathan Stevens, as Dr. Holmes mentioned, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Assistant Secretary for the Office of Community Services at Florida Department of Children and Families. My colleague Chris and I were talking with Reverend Campbell before we kind of got started, and he was talking a little bit about kind of the story about the different campuses and Metropolitan Ministries as it got started. And he mentioned lightning is kind of a recurring theme, and I thought that was interesting. It made me think of a few things. First of all, you get a little bit nervous once the clouds started rolling in and we were talking. But it made me just kind of think about really what lightning, encompasses, and it made me think of a couple different things. It's awe-inspiring, maybe a little bit terrifying, but also awe-inspiring, and then it's powerful, right? And I think that really encapsulates what Metropolitan Ministries is doing here. When you hear those stories and you see the impact that's being made, it's truly awe-inspiring and powerful that's going on. So I thought that was a fitting connection to have there, Reverend. I appreciate you sharing that story with us. But I do just want to thank the Metropolitan Ministries team for inviting us to be here today. Your commitment to serving families in Florida and that are in need is really, truly inspiring, as I mentioned. I also want to thank all of the local partners and legislative and community leaders that have really worked hard and through vision and extremely hard work and sweat equity have really made this day possible. It's clear to see through all of the different partners that have been up here this morning just the true team effort that this has been to make this come to fruition. The department is extremely proud to support this project as part of Florida's commitment to help individuals and families find safe, stable housing and really just rebuild their lives. This campus builds on that mission. It expands access to housing, childcare, and outreach throughout the community and services that will enable families to not only just make it, but really truly thrive. So by combining housing, supportive services, Metropolitan Ministries is helping families and individuals move from hardship to healing. And that's an approach that aligns perfectly with DCF's mission to strengthen Florida's communities. Today's ribbon cutting, it isn't just about new buildings, it's about new beginnings for families who will be served by this campus for decades to come. So on behalf of the Department of Children and Families, I want to thank you for your partnership, your compassion, and your steadfast commitment to helping Floridians find hope and opportunity. And we're really looking forward to more continued opportunities to collaborate to ensure every family in Florida has a chance to succeed and a chance to achieve their God-given potentials. Thanks so much.
Really? I thought I was shrinking. Well, good morning. Good morning. What a pleasure and an honor it is to be here. My name is Ed Blumel, and I do work for the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Service, Office of the Commissioner. I'm used to talking to ranchers and farmers, people that feed us 3 times a day. And so this is certainly a privilege and an honor to be here today. The commissioner was very saddened that he was called to Washington. I met with him Friday for a few minutes. He assures me that Washington Gus will be back to work soon. But anyway, he did want me to express some of his thoughts, and he asked me to stay on script pretty much. I don't like to read to people. I'd rather have made 200 copies, and there you go. But I'm going to cover some of that for him. And Ishmael, you are a shining star. You're a perfect example of what I've heard today, what I've read, and what I have seen on this campus. So thank you very much for sharing that. Good courage. Appreciate it. I want to thank Rob. Where's Rob? I want to thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. Leona, thank you. Right here. Yeah. It's a glitter. It's a glitter. But, and also Dr. Combs, thank you very much. I did not know about this until Friday. Now, having the luck of the draw, about 2 weeks ago, I came over to the campus. I was in the area, and I said, I'm going to slide by there. And when I got here, I live on the east side of Pasco. And when I got here, I went, wow, look at that. So for an opportunity to come back, cut the ribbon, have a tour is really special. And Sorry the commissioner can't be here. We'll let him read about it. Okay. So it's really a privilege and an honor to represent Commissioner, one-time Senator Simpson at this event. And later on he talks about, and this is going to be real brief, he talks about how personal, Friday when we met, he talked about how personal this project, if you would, meant to him. And from there, it was an easy sell for him. So along with the rest of our state legislators, the delegation from here, thank you very, very much. Okay, today's ribbon cutting marks an incredible milestone. The opening of the Wilton Center, you're not going to hear anything brand new from this because it's been said, but it is from his heart Friday night. So I owe it to y'all and to him to read this. The opening of the Wilton Simpson Self-Sufficiency Residential Center here at the Metropolitan Ministries Miracle Place Pasco's campus. When this project began years ago, it started as a vision. We've heard that. To give families in crisis not just a place to stay, but a place to rebuild their lives. Turning that vision into reality took leadership, hard work, and strong partnership. We've heard it, we've heard it, we've heard it. This is a great example. From day one, then Senator, so I'm going back a little bit, Senator Simpson was proud to be your advocate in securing state funding, and he gave me a number of about $23 million. Thank you, Governor, for not vetoing it again and for signing it 2 years in a row. Thank you. For Commissioner Simpson, this project represents something deeply personal. In sitting down and talking to him, you could tell his passion for it, just like the other ones we've heard today. His lifelong belief that the best way to help families in need is to help them become self-sufficient. And that belief is reflected in every part of this campus. When I was over 2 weeks ago and walked around, I wasn't here on a mission. It was just, I was nosy. And the staff here is, without a doubt, probably to me, the best staff that you could possibly have. I'd like to give them a round of applause. They didn't know who I was. They offered me water. They didn't know who I represented, never mind who I was. They offered me water, cookies. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a nice place to visit. But absolutely friendly. I mean, to them, a total stranger. So I appreciate that. That will stick in my mind. The Family Service Center will help families take real steps towards stability, providing financial, counseling, food, clothing for those who qualify. The new Welcome Center was creating a space for volunteers, and that's where I was, over at the Welcome Center, to connect with the communities, and even includes a playground where children can feel safe and cared for. And the renewed kitchen, I didn't know about that till Friday, that we had a new kitchen coming up. And the expanded meal service will allow Metropolitan Ministry to reach even more people, feeding families and supporting community meal programs across the region. I'm not sure I know how much the region covers, but there's a lot of people out there in need of your service. Pick and choose which one that they need. On behalf, I want to thank Metropolitan Ministries, the leadership, staff, volunteers especially, and the strong community partners that have tirelessly worked to bring this project to where it is today. Your dedication and compassion will continue to change lives for generations. And this campus will stand as a testament to those that can accomplish when faith, community, and purpose come together. Again, thank you and congratulations to the tremendous achievement from Wilton Simpson, Commissioner of Agriculture. Thank you.
My name's Tim Marks, and I was in the room when it happened. Yep, I was in the room. And Reverend Morris Hinsman came back from a meeting with Reverend Dan Campbell and said, "Isn't there something we can do to help them out?" About 2007. And we did. We started helping out with food and food insecurity and holidays, holiday tents. Scott Fink was right there at the start, providing a holiday tent that we could serve the community. This is truly a miracle place. It has multiple meanings, right? It's the miracle of this building even being here. The state provided $8 million worth of support. Pasco County provided another. As I was telling Congressman Bill Rackus, we're going to be good stewards of that. There's going to be a good ROI. Say that already because over $9 million of private support came alongside that public support. So every dollar that we got from a grant was managed by folks in this tent in our in-year program. The work goes on though. This will be a multi-million-dollar investment for this community that Metropolitan Ministries is committed to. And that is supported by, again, many of the folks that are in this program, but also another 20-some thousand volunteers that come alongside us throughout the Tampa Bay region. The amazing staff that's here. And 38,000 donors. Think about that. We got this name, Metropolitan Ministries, and we care for the poor and homeless. We have 38,000 donors. That says something about this being a caring community, right? And we are so honored to have the support of the community behind us. We are a mission and vision-driven organization, and you've heard many of the tenets of our mission statement: to alleviate suffering, things like food and shelter, promote dignity. When we think about promoting dignity, we think about education. Because education is the great equalizer for an adult and for our children. We want to break the cycle of poverty and homelessness. The single largest department at Metropolitan Ministries, some people might refer to as a cost center, is education. What a great cost to have. What a great investment. Education. We believe in that because these things lead to the third component of our mission statement: self-sufficiency. Having a job, having an affordable place to stay. We work really hard to make that happen with great partners in this community and with great staff. Our vision talks about trying to be better today and better tomorrow. We want to be America's most effective caregiver. Don't know what that looks like, but we're just going to keep trying every day to be better. Dr. Combs is going to lead us to be even better. But the last sentence of our vision statement says, above all, I guess that's kind of important. It says, above all, our witness, not our words, our witness will be to the power of love in healing broken lives and building strong, caring communities. And back in the room when it happened, there were two catalysts that aligned with that vision. This idea of healing broken lives, Dan Campbell, your passion. This idea of building a strong, caring community, Scott Campbell. You could go into his dealership, and I don't know how you did it, but the #1 Hyundai dealership in the country is less than a mile away from here. It's a nice little coincidence or a little miracle for where we're at today. Because these two guys were the catalyst for change, and they aligned with our vision. They believed in the power of love broken lives, Ishmael's family and what they were going through. But building a strong, caring community, Scott's pretty good at that. He really is really good at that. And you know, I grew up in Detroit. Gosh, I didn't like car dealers. I was told not to trust a car dealer. I'm like, car dealers, stay away. I love car dealers. I have 3 of them on my board. They're all amazing. But we're not here. We don't have this guy. We're not here without Scott. He is that catalyst for change. And he has made so much impact in so many nonprofits. But back in 2010, made that first commitment of $100,000 to help us get started on the kitchen and get going on shelter. And he kept digging into the well of relationships and his own personal investment to make a difference. And so it's with a great honor that I asked Kathy and Scott to come up and share from their heart a little bit about the why, a little bit of what drove them to be so impactful in the lives of families in this community. Please welcome Scott and Kathy.
Good morning. Scott and I are very honored to be here today, a day to celebrate Miracle Place and this beautiful campus. Thanks to many who were committed to making a tangible difference in the lives of people who truly need it the most. As many of you know, Scott and I became involved with Metropolitan Ministries after watching a 60-minute segment on homelessness. We realized that homelessness isn't just a statistic. It's a reality faced by our neighbors, people like all of us with hopes and dreams. From that day forward, it became a mission of ours to help, a real sense of purpose to get involved, a call of action. Often, people have great intentions, but they don't act on them. Together, Scott and I acted because we love this community, a place that has given us so much. We asked each other, how can we help? How can we make a difference? Scott and I knew we wanted to contribute in a way that builds something lasting and meaningful for our community. What has been accomplished here is incredible. Personally, I've experienced the sense of hope and purpose in each classroom of the Create Center in the Education Building, which is behind me. It was alive with laughter and the energy of children who finally have a place to learn, to dream, and belong, supported by many loving and dedicated teachers. As a mom of 5, I'm grateful that these kids now have an opportunity to grow and learn like my children did, and every child deserves. Miracle Place is much more than a building. It's a place of safety, dignity, and hope. Together, our hope was to inspire others. Change is possible when we each take a step forward.
Morning, everybody. Never easy when you follow great speakers, but I think I'll just say what she said. Where's Ed? I heard there's cookies. Are there cookies here? So stay for the cookies. I too was in the room when it happened. That's a good one, Tim. So Kathy and I are truly honored to be here today with you for the formal ribbon cutting and dedication of this incredible campus. You know, in my mind, this day forward, I'm not necessarily going to refer to this location as Miracle Place Pasco or Metropolitan Ministries Pasco. This is simply, to me, Metropolitan Ministries, a full extension of the same compassionate services provided in Pinellas, and where it all started 53 years ago in Tampa. So as Kathy said, some time ago, we watched that segment on 60 Minutes, and it really deeply disturbed us. But more than that, it truly motivated us. You know, we all have ideas that flow through our minds, you know, business ventures, lifestyle changes, dreams of making a difference. You know, but most of these ideas, they stay ideas, but not this time. We felt something different. We had an idea to help homeless families, or maybe just one homeless family, find peace and a path forward. We just knew we couldn't let this idea slip away. But honestly, where do you even begin? So I reached out to a good friend of mine, previous board chair, Robert Schimberg, and he introduced me to two guys who I've come to know, love, and respect, who really know how to get things done. And that's Morris Hinsman and my good friend, Tim Marks. And just like that, we were off and running. Well, and then came my good friend, Rich Beckish. His vision for what this campus could become, it honestly lit a fire under all of us. We were inspired, energized, and ready to build something meaningful. Of course, inspiration alone isn't enough. We had to go and sell the vision. For those that know me, I do like to sell. So first we had to go to the board at MetMin and expand and get them to think beyond Tampa. We had to meet with prospective donors. We had to share the dream. We had to rally support from local commissioners and state leaders. And we did that. We told the story. We presented the need, and we got the support. You know, at the heart of Metro's mission is a clear and powerful purpose: to care for the homeless in our community through services that alleviate suffering, promote dignity, and instill self-sufficiency. Our vision is to become America's most effective caregiver to poor and homeless people. You know, this beautiful campus, staffed by highly trained and deeply passionate individuals, will bring that mission to life. But beyond the services, there's something even more vital here that is offered, and that's hope. Metropolitan Ministries is a safe haven led by people who care. And in every meal served, every hand held, and every story heard, we offer hope. Hope for today, hope for tomorrow, and hope for a brighter future. Operating and sustaining this campus takes resources. And as my friend Tim likes to say, more money, more Metro. He's right. And as I like to say, money matters, and it really does. If we want to continue to be the most effective caregiver we can be, we're going to need your help. We need your support. And yes, we're leaning on your generosity. So if you feel moved to join us in this mission, we have response cards available. Every contribution helps bring hope to those in need the most. We are deeply grateful for any and all of your consideration. So as I close, I want to reflect on something people have often said to Kathy and I. Say, you know, you guys are really leaving a legacy. And maybe that's true. But we heard a great segment the other morning on CBS. We watch a lot of news shows. And it was Michael J. Fox, and he was talking about his charity. And they talked about his legacy. And Michael said, legacies are for dead people. Metropolitan Ministries is alive and thriving. This is not about what we leave behind. It's about what we're building today and what we'll continue to build for as long as there is a need for safety, dignity, and hope. You know, being a car dealer may define my career, but it's days like today and work being done here that will really define my life. So thank you for being part of the journey, and thank you for being part of the mission, and thank you for helping us bring hope to those who need it the most. Thanks, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join Reverend Don Campbell for our prayer of dedication for the Community United Methodist Church. That was our driving force behind joining Hans' mission and our Hope Visionary for our prayer of dedication at the Gateway. Thank you so much.
Bueno, y amigos de tampahoy.com, de esta manera vimos cómo varios líderes de Metropolitan Ministries le daban reconocimientos a varias personas que han brindado apoyo a esta organización y a su crecimiento. Y en estos momentos estábamos viendo esta conferencia de prensa en la que estaban inaugurando un nuevo centro de expansión, una expansión que están realizando en el Condado Pasco y que le va a estar brindándole apoyo a decenas y miles de personas aquí en nuestra bahía de Tampa, específicamente en el Condado Pasco. Así que felicidades a todas esas familias que van a tener esta ayuda a la mano en el Condado Pasco, y a todos estos líderes que han trabajado para poderle brindar apoyos a estas familias necesitadas en la Bahía de Tampa. Mi nombre es José Ángel Acevedo y voy a seguir aquí conectado con ustedes para traerles las conferencias de prensa de todo el día completamente en vivo a través de tampahoy.com. Los invito a que bajen la aplicación móvil WFLA en su tienda de aplicaciones favoritas para que reciban esas notificaciones en tiempo real y también tengan todos estos live en el momento que debe ser. Así que quédense aquí en tampahoy.com y síganos en todas las redes sociales como Tampa Hoy. Y bueno, nos quedamos aquí